50 outdoors. The thing says there's sunshine. The thing is wrong. 61 degrees indoors, just past a new flower moon at 10 in the morning on April 24th. What are we doing up so late, T-Rex? What took us so long? There's so much going on. I'm doing a crash course in atmospheric craziness. Let's start with Planetarische Kennziffer. Planetarische Kennziffer. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's the German meaning for planetary index. And then Sakuhui Fujiwhara, meteorologist from Japan, who discovered that cyclones circulate around one another, and negative tilted troughs. Those are the things I want to talk about today. Why don't we start with that KP index? Michael Beckster, Columbia, Connecticut, last night clicked something off of his bucket list. The Northern Lights, Aurora, put on a show all the way to Arizona. South. The Northern Lights went very far south because of a severe geomagnetic storm. Justin Weather around Baltimore did a great job explaining the whole thing on his website. He says, coincidentally, we had the strongest solar storm in 6 years 1 month ago to the day, March 23rd, with a KP Index 9 G4 rating. That's about as strong as they get. And supposedly they disrupt communications, but that's not in the news, just the photographs from around the world of the Aurora last night. We did not see them here in eastern Massachusetts because the clouds just refused to budge. All right, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. Go to Justin's website to see if there's any more on that. I have very light wind down here near the ground, but it is wintertime up in the sky right now. Mount Washington picked up more than 4 inches of snow, 1.3 liquid. Yesterday, the temperature went from 36 to 18 degrees with wind from the southeast, and it was a freezing rain to snowstorm. Yeah, the colder air came in from the southeast, and now warmer air is coming in from the east, and the temperature of Mount Washington is up to 24. But the northern mountains are turning white. Sugarbush this morning looks a little frosty. Meantime, here in Weymouth, I did a pass with the mower yesterday between downpours. It wasn't raining most of the time yesterday, but when it did rain, it rained pretty hard. What an interesting day with this weather system coming through. It was the same weather system that came through when the Bruins were losing to the Panthers on Wednesday night, and we had tornadoes in Oklahoma. Well, that same weather system came through as the Bruins were handling. What a feisty game, and fun, and kind of scary too, with all the testosterone on the ice. But the same weather system that came through Oklahoma when the Bruins lost came through Boston when the Bruins won, even though it was in Florida yesterday. And then the Celtics, that was awesome. So what a day yesterday. It's hard to focus on one thing or the other. Look at the weather map this morning out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. The Ocean Prediction Center says we have 2 low-pressure systems circulating around one another, counterclockwise. This is called the Fujiwhara Effect. That scientist I mentioned in Japan a century ago discovered that cyclones, tropical cyclones, would go around one another. And it also happens with non-tropical cyclones. It's happening out in the Atlantic Ocean. And there's a lot more of it forecast, too. That low-pressure system that came into New England yesterday has buckled in a negative tilted trough. What does that mean? Well, when the upper-level winds, which are often west to east, the steering currents, they buckle, and now all of a sudden the westerlies turn north and sometimes northwest. And that causes low pressure to turn north and often northwest. It happens in a blocking pattern, and it's happening right now. And it's forecast to happen many more times this week. I think the biggest news or change to the forecast is what's going on Thursday. There was supposed to be a low-pressure system going off the mid-Atlantic out into the ocean. Well, last night the Euro said, I'm going to just take that low-pressure system off the mid-Atlantic and I'm going to stall it on Friday. And I'm going to build some more low-pressure systems over the Midwest. over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And I'm going to continue the cold flow in off the ocean in New England. And I'm going to rotate 3 storms around one another and bring in a real heavy-duty storm to New England Sunday night and Monday. Now we're talking April 30 and May 1st. And it's cold. And although it does look like rain now, I wouldn't put it beyond Mother Nature to throw some snow in there. How much snow is in the forecast? Mount Washington already had 4 inches. Colorado looks like it's getting the goods. And then a little bit more in New England, perhaps southern Vermont next Sunday night and Monday. It's in the way out machine for sure. But let's go back a little bit. Talk about the Boston 3 to 5 day. Right now my flag says the air is moving in lightly from the west. Above those clouds, there's probably a whole bunch of sunshine. I think these are just low clouds. It's not really an inversion anymore. We just have moisture trapped and very little flow aloft. And it's a really kind of nutty looking 3 to 5 day with the wind going up and down, with sea breezes developing every day and a lot of instability clouds and maybe a few showers. But it's a cool pattern, and there's not much change to that. And that whole Fujiwhara effect is going to be a wild card next weekend. How much rain did I get in the last 2 days? Late day downpour yesterday got us up to 0.48 plus 0.28. So I got about 0.8 of an inch of rain over 2 days. So that's great for the garden. The garden's probably going to stay damp. I might not have to water it all week long. T-Rex is yiping. He's stuck somewhere. I don't even know where he is. He's got himself wrapped around something. That's the I want to go in yipe. Tim, stop talking, yipe. You've done enough for today. You're probably right. KP index, geomagnetic storms, Fujiwhara effect. And did I mention the crows were putting on a great show yesterday? Just kind of, we had a stare down. You ever stare down with a crow? Well, I did yesterday. And I had a lot of fun. And our dog friend Nola is moving across the nation. That's going to be sad. We're going to miss you, Nola. No lack of interesting things yesterday or going forward this week. Plenty of action. Bruins, Celtics, and incredible weather, and wintertime returning to the mountains. Talk to you later. Yes, Whiner? Can I help you, Whiner? What are you whining about? Yeah. Go ahead. See you later. Mommy's upstairs. All right. So I mentioned yesterday that worms just kind of pop up when it rains. Where do they come from? I don't know. They just appear. Yep. I'm going to save these guys. Oh, that one's too late for you. Sorry. No, that one was okay. Worms and whale poop. Very bottom of the food chain. Very important. You guys going to be okay? Talk to you later. Good night. The crows are worming. I think the worms like to come to the surface. Yep. Affirmative, Tim. Affirmative. In the rain. It's not exactly a rainy day. It's kind of a rainy day, but there's been more dry spells than there's been wet. Very convective, and we didn't get that much. So we're just getting some worms right down here. Worms come up when it's wet, I think. Of course they do. They appear under your mats. That crow has incredible balance. They've been just kind of hanging out there. So that's the boss. The boss is up top, and the others are going around, I think, building nests. The crows make their nests right when the leaves become full on the tallest trees. It's magic, and have their babies. And that one is just unfazed by me or the rain, which is a little unusual. Picked up maybe about ½ inch of rain since yesterday in spurts. That's the boss. He ain't afraid of me. The soldiers are all over the place. Power lines, always power lines. I think he was told to go to the corner. this one's making sure does what he's told. And there's another one. There's always a bunch of them. They know where you are. They're everywhere right now. This one won't move, which is weird. Breaking news. At least a 10-minute vernal pool has developed just south of Boston, thanks to some very tall clouds that are going by, delivering intermittent, moderate rain. A couple of downpours. Clouds are ripping pretty good from right to left. Southeast to northwest. But up in the sky, it's from the southeast, and Mount Washington went from 36 to 18 today with a wind from the southeast. Cold air advection and a negative tilted trough with blocking. Bruins are up 2-1 right now. That plane is taking off into the southerly wind above the southeasterly wind.